Hi friends, we now have an interesting shloka, a very popular shloka, which tells about the need for dignified behavior. If our behavior is dignified, the other person gives us respect. If our behavior is not at all dignified, if we behave in a very stupid way, silly way, crack unnecessary jokes, etc., then we lose respect. We become light in their point of view, in their minds. So that is what this shloka says. Let us read the shloka. Bala sakhitva makarana hasyam Strishu vivada masajjana seva Gardabhayana masamskrutavani Shatsu naro laghutamupayati. So the last line I'll explain first. He is saying Shatsu naraha. Naraha means a person. Shatsu in 6 points, in about 6 situations. Laghutam upayati. He becomes light. He is treated lightly by people. What are the situations in which a person is treated lightly? So he says, number 1 is bala sakhitvam. So friendship with people, friendship with the children. Suppose friendship with children is not bad. In fact, very great people, they interact with the children, they play with the children. We have heard about Chacha Nehru, as he is called, Pandit Nehru. Wherever he went, he used to play with the children. So it doesn't mean that he has become, childish. He may be playing in a very childlike way, but he is not childish. So that means he is not losing his identity and then he is not going to their level. He is keeping up his identity and at the same time interacting with the children in order to educate children. He may be playing with them, but he is not fighting with them for a chocolate. He is not fighting with them for silly things. So like the children, they fight among themselves. He is not fighting with them for some petty things. So that is what normally big people do. Even teachers, school teachers, they play with children. It doesn't mean that playing with children is something which is bad. But then from what point of view you are playing with children? So suppose a person is only having children as friends and then he is fighting with children. He has not grown in his mental level. He is only an overgrown child. For sometimes you also use the word, oh, he is an overgrown child. He is a childish fellow. So he is not childlike but childish. Childlike refers to innocence. It is a positive quality. It is actually a positive quality. Some very great scholars, very great eminent people can be childlike. Somebody who is a very eminent man, he can be very, very great saint, for example. He may be very childlike because he doesn't know guile, he doesn't know any deceitful nature. So such a person, he behaves in a very, very open-hearted way, just like a child. So that is what is childlike. Whereas childish is to cry for petty things and fight for petty things. So that is what is childish behavior. So we know the difference between a person who is a grown-up child and who is a really great person who is childlike. So here we are talking about the other one, Bala Sakhitvam. We are talking about the childish behavior, which is actually ridiculous, which is looked down upon by everybody. Suppose a person who is still behaving in a childish way. In a childish way, he is complaining about people. So we say, oh, he is not a grown-up fellow. So that is what we say. Then the second thing is Akarana Hasyam. Hasyam means humor. You see, humor is a very positive quality. Humor is not a negative thing. In fact, among the 9 rasas we talk about in Kavyas, the 9 sentiments which we talk about in a good work of art, this humor is a very, very important component. For example, Shringara or the love. Love in the sense affection between man and woman. That is one important sentiment. Man-woman relationship and the affection, that is an important thing. Veera, valor, etc. Karuna, pathos as we call it. Then Adbhuta. Adbhuta means something which is fantastic. So that is another rasa. Hasya. Hasya is another thing. Bhayanaka, some horror. So like that 9 sentiments have been described. 9 sentiments which add to the beauty of a work of art. So they are called the Nava Rasa. The 9 sentiments which add to the beauty. Otherwise, in a work of art, if there is no strong sentiment, then it is very, very pale. So in any work of art, knowingly or unknowingly, any great work of art will have one of these rasas. one or many. It may be having many rasas also. A kavya is supposed to have all the 9 rasas. So here, humor is something which is very much needed. In fact, it shows a person's, learned, how far he is learned. It shows his sense of humor, as we call it, his sense of humor and his education, his upbringing, all these things humor shows. But then, if it is a misplaced humor, unnecessary humor, where humor is not needed, you are unnecessarily cracking some jokes. So there, it will not be appreciated. In a very somber situation, suppose there is a very serious somber situation, so you are not supposed to crack jokes unnecessarily. So that again, it brings down your estimate in the minds of the people. They estimate you in a low manner. So he becomes light. Laghutam. Laghutam is lightness. Laghu, the word laghu, the last sentence, laghutam upayati. Laghu is L-A-G-H-U, laghu is the same as L-I-G-H-T, light in English. They are related words. Laghuta, lightness. So he becomes light in the minds of people. Then the third point is Strishu Vivadam. That is picking up quarrel with women. A dignified person is not supposed to pick up quarrel with women. Even if the woman is at fault, you are supposed to totally gloss over it. You are supposed to just don't observe it and behave in a dignified way. And then avoid that situation. Suppose there is a situation. Maybe you are traveling in some, train. And then you want to occupy the seat where the woman is supposed to sit. And then you are having an argument with that woman for that. Or maybe any situation. Suppose you are opening the door and you want to enter first and then you want to keep away the lady. Normally what gentlemen do is, they open the door, allow the lady to enter, and then only these people, they go out. Suppose somebody is coming in and someone is going out, you are supposed to open the door, allow the lady to come in. You are not supposed to compete with her and then jostle and then rush out. So that is a little bit of what is called chivalry. In English there is a word called chivalry. Chivalry means you are going out of the way to help a lady. If you see our history, if you see the English literature particularly, there are several works where this chivalry of the medieval knights you might have heard of them. So the people who are knight in armor, full armor, and then sitting on a horseback and all that, and fighting for the damsel in distress. So there is an expression called the damsel in distress. So these people, knights, are supposed to fight for the damsel in distress. They are even supposed to lay down their lives if necessary. So that is what is called chivalry, that age of chivalry. So a man naturally is stronger, physically stronger, and he is expected to be slightly chivalrous to women. So if a person quarrels with women, if a person quarrels with somebody who is stronger than him, another male, who is a man fighting with another male who is stronger and all that, okay, fine, this fellow has got the guts to fight. But then if you are fighting with a woman where there is no question of guts, you are mean, they say, hey, you are mean. So there the person becomes mean. He becomes light. Strishu vivadam. Then another thing is, the fourth point is asajjana seva. Seva means service, where suppose an occupation, let us say, and then where exactly you are working, whom exactly you are serving. Are you serving in the top organization, or are you serving in some nondescript and then suppose nameless organization? Suppose you are working in a high sounding and high profile organization. So if you are working in a high profile organization, people, oh, this man is working in that high profile great organization. Or suppose you are working in the president's office, let us say, or with the prime minister. Then they say, oh, this Jap is working in the prime minister's office or a president's office. So people will be moving around you, particularly in Indian situation, the people will be moving around you. Oh, what is the mood of the president? What is the mood of the prime minister? So like that. So somebody, where exactly you are working is very important. Suppose you are working in some lowly place, nobody bothers for you. So asajjana seva. Or somebody who is serving a bad master, asajjana, serving a bad master, that also counts. Serving a bad master, it lowers a particular person's status. Suppose a person is working in an organization, doing some illegal business. He may be making livelihood, but then he is looked down upon. Oh, this fellow is working for that organization. he is some stupid fellow. So we treat him like that. So where you work, where exactly, whom exactly are you serving, that also matters. Then again, this fifth one is rather funny. Gardabhayanam. Gardabha means a donkey. Gardabhayanam. In olden days, people used to travel on donkey's back also. Usually people used to go on donkey's back also. Not all people had, say, mules or horses. So Gardabhayanam, in those days, it was considered to be very, very low. It is like going on some small two-wheeler, some small two-wheeler meant for girls. Suppose you are a big man, you are traveling on a small two-wheeler. Okay, this fellow has come on a two-wheeler. Suppose you go in a car, the hotel fellow, he will give some respect. You go in another Benz car or something like that, the fellow will come down and then receive you and then salute you. So that is what is the mode of transport is very, very important. And if you are going on a bicycle or a two-wheeler, the hotel fellow, he will not even open the gates for you. You are asked to check out. So that is what Yanam, the travel, the mode of travel is also very, very important. The last one is very important, that is Asamskritavani, that is unrefined language. Vani means language, our speech. Samskrita means something which is polished, something which is refined, urbane. So that is what is refined language, that is Samskritavani. Asamskrita means unrefined, vulgar. Vulgar in the sense, just like a villager. Just like a villager, you are talking something and your say language is not compatible with the place where you are, or not compatible with the people with whom you are interacting. So in such a situation, a person is looked down upon, a person is lightly treated. Oh, this fellow, he opens his mouth, he is talking some trash. Okay, let us just listen and forget about it. So people may tolerate you, but then they will look down on you. So that is what he says. So in all these 6 situations, one is being childish and using some unnecessary humor, and then arguing with women, unnecessarily arguing with women. We are supposed to yield to women wherever, say, it is needed. And we are supposed to be slightly chivalrous, though the age of chivalry is gone. Even now, some little bit of chivalry, some semblance of chivalry is still there. Then asajjana seva, whom you are serving is important, the mode of travel is important, and the type of talk. Because the talk is something which actually reveals our social background, it reveals our upbringing, and also it reveals our intellectual abilities. So that is what gives us respect. So in all these 3 things, if we fail, in all these 6 things, if we fail, then a person becomes light. Not only in all these 6, even if you fail in one thing, you become light. If we fail in all these 6 things, of course, our marks will be 0 only. So that is the shloka. Very interesting shloka, very popular shloka. Let us repeat it. Balasakitvam Strishu vivadam asajjana seva Gardabhayanam asamskritavani Shatsu naro lagutam upayati. Lagutam upayati. Lagutam, we have to break there. Lagutam upayati. Fine.